AI detectors that flag your nice piece of text as AI? Well, that doesn't look great, and it's even unfair if you didn't use AI in the process at all. But don't worry, because in this video, we're gonna uncover the 4 reasons why your text is AI detected, and also how AI detectors concretely work. I'm also gonna give you some easy fix so that you'll be way less likely to be AI detected in the future. Ready? Let's go. Reason number 1, your writing is too predictable. As you might already know, LLMs like Gemini, ChatGPT, and Claude all really work in the same way. That is, they are made to predict the most likely token, that is most likely word, in a writing sequence. As a result, their writing is literally way too predictable. And that's why it sounds always kind of really generic and kind of boring and uninspiring. Because these LLMs are designed to choose the most likely words, and so the most accepted, common, familiar ideas, insights, and perspectives into their writing. You can try to tweak and adjust the predictability of these LLMs, that is also their temperature, and make their output more creative and original, but usually by default it will always be generic and predictable. This level of predictability of the output of the LLMs, the AI researcher called that perplexity, which is the level of likelihood of the writing sequence. And this perplexity is what AI detectors are seeking to measure and perceive into your text. If the level of perplexity of your text is very low, that means your AI writing sequence is very predictable, and that's when AI detectors will flag your text as AI. As you can see here, that's what happened here. This piece of text sounds really much like any kind of piece of text generated by LLMs. Here, GPT-0, which is one of the best AI detectors, highlighted almost all of the sentences of this text as AI. One big reason is that in this writing sequence, there's not really something new or fresh or inventive. This article is about the best AI writing tool, and the introduction here is all about cliché you can find. As a manager, you juggle deadlines, quality standards, ever-growing demand for engaging content in the fast-paced world of content marketing. All this looks really cliché. The structure here is also very AI-like, but we're gonna talk about the structure later. Here it's all about the content and the ideas behind the text. One fix to resolve that is simple. You have to give your own input and idea to the AI so that it brings something new and fresh into the subject. And we're gonna do that here right now. So I'm gonna copy paste this text, and I'm gonna tell it to rewrite this text by incorporating my own ideas, insights, and literal words here. And here I'm gonna copy paste my own draft about this article that I really just written by myself, with all my own personal experience. So yeah, that writing is hard, that always starting from a blank page makes me sick. And that's what we're gonna put here. And we're gonna ask you just to rewrite it. And let's see what happens here. All right, we have a text here that looks more human, I have to say. And we're just gonna paste it into GPT-0 to see if there's like an improvement here. So it's already a good improvement. You can go further than that. So there's a lot also of writing sequences that looks very much AI, like for example, imagine cutting your writing time in half. For me, yeah, that sounds way too AI, but yeah, there's already something going on here. We're gonna try to improve that in the next sections. Reason number 2, your sentences are too repetitive. LLMs have another big flaw from how they work, which is now more specific. LLMs have actually a hard time diversifying the structure of the sentences. That is the length of the sentences, how many words there is in the sentences, the number of sentences in a paragraph, all the jumps into the sentences, and also the overall rhythm of all the sentences. There are some kind of regular patterns that you can see by just looking at the structure of the sentences and the overall structure of an AI-generated piece of text. Usually with a human writer, it won't happen, because human writers always write in kind of a random way, based on their own insights and ideas and intention they want to put into their writing. It will always look a bit surprising and unpredictable. And that's also the job, for example, of copywriters. Really want to hook up the readers by just being in a way unpredictable, but not too unpredictable. The researcher called this the burstiness. The more varied your writing structure, the more burstiness you have. And AI detectors try to measure and perceive the burstiness of your text. When your text shows regular patterns, for example here, the same kind of subsections, then yeah, there's most likely that your AI detectors will flag it as AI. Here I've copy pasted one text I've generated with ChatGPT without any editing. It's a text about prompts for ideation for academic paper. And so as you can see here, there's like 3 prompt subsections with all the same subsections. Copy paste, why it works, how to adapt. And as you can see, there's already some patterns. For example, how to adapt. It's always 2 bullet points and 1 sentence per bullet point. It's the same here, how to adapt. Same also at the end, you have like a quick tip or move with just 1 sentence. Here it's the same. Now, how to fix this problem? Well, there's actually also a very easy solution, which is called outline. You have to outline your subject, your text, before asking to generate it. So we're gonna do this here. We're gonna just take this text, we're gonna put it here, and we're gonna ask ChatGPT to outline based on this outline that I'm gonna give it here. So I'm gonna take almost the same outline, but I'm just gonna formulate it by myself. So prompts for finding a research topic. Now prompts for generating arguments, research arguments. And the last one, prompt to scope the research topic. All right, and then for each subsection, you're gonna just include your own ideas, prompt for, in this case, into the subsection. And this way, you're gonna have a different structure than just the AI default structure. The LM will replicate the order of ideas you're gonna give it, and so it will add complexity to the structure of each subsections. One other way to scale that up without just manually writing all the article, which takes a lot of time, obviously, is to use the research or search feature. So here, I think I'm gonna just do the search feature. We're gonna see what's gonna happen. As you can see here, it's already more chaotic and less predictable. So on the structure of this outline, there's, for example, more prompts per subsection of prompts. Here we have 6 prompts, I think, even 7 prompts, yes. Per prompts, there's also less bullet points sometimes, more per prompt. So I don't like 1 bullet points and 2. It's more chaotic for sure. And then we're gonna just generate the section by section. And now you see the LLMs has replicated all the chaotic patterns of everything it found online based on the order of references and sources and data and facts it just found online. So here, for example, you have a prompt that is explained in almost a table, and then you have one with bullet points, and the bullet points are not always the same number. Now let's just copy paste all this text and put it in GPT-0 to see if there's any change. As you can see here, there's some improvements. Some phrasing is less AI. There's still some work to do. I think that's where manual editing comes into play, because yeah, you cannot use AI to replace AI. You have to do it about a bit of manual editing and humanizing for sure. Reason number 3, you have AI expressions all over your writing. As I said, LLMs leave a lot of patterns into their output, and that means as much the format as also the content itself of the writing. And there's especially some expression, a way of phrasing that are very AI-like. And we're gonna dive into those here. I've actually made a whole article about how AI use always the same kind of phrasing. Here it's ChatGPT default writing style that I tried to describe here, with a lot of very strong sign that it's AI and very ChatGPT-like. Among those signs is, of course, the very famous M dashes that seem to appear everywhere online now with ChatGPT. There's also one more subtle way of phrasing, rhetorical device that I call, which is the tricolons. That is how ChatGPT uses phrasing in 3 steps. For example, here, I know my skills in research, collaboration, and problem solving. It's always in 3 parts, and that happens a lot. One other formulation that you can find almost everywhere is this 2-step formulation that is not only, but also. And these patterns definitely appear, almost all of them, in this piece of text that we just analyzed before. So for example, the tricolon appears here. Imagine cutting, maintaining, and even enhancing. So 3 steps here. Here also juggle deadlines, quality standards, and the ever-growing demand. And of course, the famous not only, but also that appear here. How to get rid of these regular expressions? Well, for this part, you have to do it yourself, I have to say. So let's try to edit it by ourselves. So for example, what if you could cut? This tool boost, and especially, I'm gonna remove this part, also this part, which is very generic. and doesn't add much to the text. And I'm also gonna remove this part because it also doesn't add that much. So it's sophistication and human-like. So as AI writing is advancing, it's getting better. This is not real. You want to and let's see now. And that's it. Now you have something that passes through AI detector in the right way. But yeah, as you can see, I took some effort to make it better. So yeah, if you want to be absolutely sure to avoid AI detection, that is the way. But you can still use my 2 first steps that use prompts and try to AI to humanize it more. But usually you also have to do a bit more editing to be sure to pass AI detectors. Number 4, your writing uses AI-like vocabulary. Just before I talked about expression and formulation that ChatGPT, for example, loves to use, but that is also the case of very specific words and vocabulary that you should avoid altogether. I also made a whole article about the overused words of ChatGPT that you can check to see if these are into your writing. For sure, definitely you have things like explore, delve into, very well known, crucial, unlock, intricate landscape, things like are really very specific to ChatGPT. That actually comes from the training process of ChatGPT. That has been made by quality raters and human reviewers. They are from a very specific location that is usually, for example, South Africa or Nigeria, where people use some specific words that are then reflected into the output for ChatGPT. And these words usually, for example, American writers or British writers, they don't use these words that much. And so it shows into ChatGPT. For example, yeah, in today's fast-paced world, that's definitely a cliche. Repeats a lot, delves into, again, revolutionizing, let's face it. The truth is, it's important to note. One other sign is also the use of openings and conclusions a lot. In conclusion, it is clear that also the whether are, of course. Here, there's always some kind of specific vocabulary that you can find on ChatGPT. So yeah, this piece of text has been generated by ChatGPT, as you can see. We add a lot of very hyperbolic adjectives. So for example, unprecedented, revolutionizing, even surge is a big word, projected to grow, technological advancement, profound shift, yeah, unparalleled efficiency, boosting productivity, keeping pace. Yeah, that's a lot of vocabulary that is very ChatGPT-like. And you want to remove them, just replace them with less likely words or adjectives. So let's do this. Expanding significantly, okay, impacting manufacturing industries, the way we make automation in this sector with good efficiency, minimizing and increasing productivity. Tracking is very important with less error rate and better processes. International, big shift. Yeah, I added some vocabulary, improved other vocabulary, and yeah, it seems to work now. It looks way more human. It takes a while to get the right vocabulary, I have to say. But yeah, manual editing work, and you should definitely do it for all your AI piece of text, even a little. And that's it. Now you know exactly why your piece of text has been detected as AI by AI detectors. I hope the strategies I've given you here to improve your text and make it less likely to be detected will help you and work, of course, for your piece of text. And if you found it helpful, of course, don't forget to like, to subscribe, or to comment under the video if you have any question. And otherwise, I'll see you on the next one.